This video is supported in part by Retro Days, a place for nostalgia nerds to gather, share memories, chat, and engage. Go to retrodays.com or check their YouTube channel linked below. Hey there, and welcome back to Gen X Grown Up. I'm John, and I am a Gen X Grown Up. You know, here on the channel, I have looked at a lot of titles from MyArcade. I mean, a lot of titles from MyArcade, and yet I have never looked at any of their handheld pocket players. But due to so many of you repeated viewers and commenters who have suggested I should really take a look at these, and thanks to a real discount I was able to find on eBay, I picked up the Pac-Man Pocket Player. Is this something I even really need in my collection? Well, that's exactly what I'm gonna find out right now.
Don't you know that you're a grown up? No games, no puns. Not allowed if you're a grown up.
Now, this is far from the first MyArcade product I've ever looked at, but it is the first pocket player that I've ever looked at, so let's take a little bit of time just exploring the packaging. This is their handheld portable gaming system, and though Pac-Man's the headliner, this one also includes Pac-Panic and Pac-Mania. The back shows a nice clear image of the device, and I didn't realize it had like a little wrist strap here. I hope that's included. Here they call out their large full-color screen, and it looks like it's not rechargeable, but rather uses 4 AAA batteries that aren't included. The front lid is held in place with this little magnetic latch that opens to reveal our Pac-Man Pocket Player. The inside of the lid does a nice job of just summarizing the 3 games that are included, and then of course you get a nice clear view of the Pocket Player itself. We could look through this plastic all day, but instead let's open it up and get a first-hand view. And inside we have the Pocket Player itself, a little catalog, and the instructions that I'll be covering from cover to cover. I'm just kidding, we're throwing those away. Let's move ahead with a little tour of the unit, and I want to start actually around back. So on the sides, we just have, these are the 2 battery covers. You slide those down and drop in the batteries. I like that since Pac-Mania and Pac-Panic actually have some instructions, they just have tiny little instruction panels here. In the center bottom here, you just have a standard headphone jack. That wrist strap that was pictured on the box is definitely included here, and those 2 battery covers create a really nice kind of grip that make it easy for your fingers to keep a hold of the device. Across the top you have a power on-off switch, a micro USB 5-volt input so you can power it that way if you'd rather not use batteries, and finally a volume up and down rocker. Back around front, these controls are very simple. We have a reset and a start button and an A and a B button. And over on the left, we have what feels like just a 4-way D-pad and a single speaker right below it. My overall first impressions, I like the look of it. That bright, like almost neon Pac-Man yellow with the offset bright red D-pad, it screams Pac-Man to me, and I like that about it. You know, I will say the D-pad feels a little mushy, but I'm going to reserve judgment on that till I've had a chance to actually play with it. Let's get this fake Pac-Man off though, get the batteries in, and see how it does play. Alright, Pac-Man is what we're most interested in, so we're going to spend most of our time here. We'll take a look at the others, though. Hit start. Alright, add credits with A or B, then start to play. Alright. It's 2018 at BNI, yeah, Bandai Namco. It's not exactly the right sound. We know it's not the original ROM because it says 2018, but it's closer than that 40th anniversary, I think. Let's give it a start. Okay. It looks great. And it sounds pretty darn close, too. Probably the best non-genuine ROM Pac-Man I've seen. Give me some cherry. Hey, no sound for the cherry? What's up? Yeah, the ghost sound is a little bit off. I mean, at this point, I'm kind of nitpicking because we're at that point in the life of these Pac-Man ports that if you're not going to do the original version, I'm going to ask you why. And that frenetic siren is there. That's important. That's a huge part of Pac-Man. Nice. Yeah, you can see the score and the... Whoa, why are we playing the original music again? On level 2? Okay. That's just inaccurate. Yeah, it's just that little stuff that I guess people think that we don't care or don't notice. But, I mean, spoiler alert, we do care and we do notice. At least I do. You're real close. Why are you playing the music again? Unnecessary. All right, So, I mean, what you've got is a pretty darn good replica of Pac-Man that fits in your pocket, that runs off some batteries. All right, one thing I do want to know is whether or not the high scores save. That would be nice to know. All right, let me kill Pac-Man. Death 1. Death 2. Death 3. And Death 4. All right, so our high score is 17,840. We're going to power it off and back on. Go back into Pac-Man. No high score preservation. Ah, so sad. All right, well, let's check out the other two games while we're here. Both Pac-Mania and Pac-Panic came out a bit later. I was not a big fan of these anywhere, but let's give them a quick look. Yeah, this is the one that was kind of Lego-y, I believe, if I recall. Yep. Yep, and you have the B button to jump. Yep, there you go. So if you're a fan of this game, it's there too. Ooh, jump! I mean, aside from being kind of isometric, that's the biggest twist in this game, is that you have the ability to jump over ghosts. You're not restricted to just dodging them in the maze. And yeah, that's here. That's Pac-Mania. Let's move on and try Pac-Panic. I'm not very familiar with Pac-Panic at all, but we're going to take a look and see what it has to offer. Normal mode, puzzle mode. Let's try normal mode. Okay. So this is a matching game. So this might be the coolest thing about this, is that it's a game... Hey, what the heck? That's kind of cool. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research myself to find out more about this game. This is like a version of Tetris that includes, like, Pac-Man eating ghosts. That's kind of cool. So to have that included on here is maybe better than having Pac-Man. Honestly. Looks like the goal is to get some ghosts together, so when Pac-Man gets here, he gobbles them up, and that helps you clear different layers. Yeah. Now, quite honestly, coming into this review, I was ready to write this off as an also ran. I didn't think I even needed this little pocket player in my collection. Why do I need another Pac-Man, let alone a handheld version? Well, I'm not so sure anymore. It feels pretty good in the hand. Initially, it was a little light for my taste, but when I added the batteries, that pretty much hit the sweet spot. It feels pretty good. The battery compartment on the back I showed creates that little grip on the side. In case the grip's not good enough, it has that wrist strap should you drop it, so your investment is protected. I also mentioned initially the D-pad felt a little mushy, and while it does feel a little mushy, not at all clicky, I was never frustrated with the controls. I never missed a turn. It did everything I wanted it to do. So while I might have liked a little more click in my controls, it was perfectly functional and serviceable as far as a handheld control scheme goes. So the device is actually pretty cool. Let's talk about the games that are on it. So first of all, Pac-Man. That's the reason that we're here. Again, it's not the original. It is a port. Arguably, it's the same port that was on the 40th anniversary edition from MyArcade. In fact, I think this warrants a side-by-side comparison of these two. If you're not already subscribed to GenXGrownUp, please be sure you do subscribe, because I'm going to be working on a comparison of these two and find out just how they stack up to one another. They're certainly very, very similar, if not identical. I think the sounds are slightly different for whatever reason. I don't know. I think, in fact, we've kind of deduced that it's a Genesis on a chip, maybe, and that makes a lot of sense. But I don't know why you would even bother to reinterpret weird things in Pac-Man, like why play the opening Pac-Man music at the start of every single level? Little things like that. Why do companies feel the need to reinterpret a classic like... Anyway, okay. Still, it's probably one of the best non-genuine ROM versions of Pac-Man you're gonna get, and it's in a handheld form factor, pretty good. And then there's Pac-Mania. Yawn. I was never a fan of Pac-Mania, and if I were a fan of Pac-Mania, this is the Genesis version of Pac-Mania, not the original arcade version. If you like that game and you like the Genesis version, alright, there's an add-in. But what I'm actually excited about here, and was not at all on my radar coming into this, was Pac-Panic, aka Pac-Attack. This is a title that never hit the arcades. In fact, it first came out in 1993 on the Super Nintendo and the Genesis, I totally missed it. It's really Tetris more than it is Pac-Man. I would say it's Tetris with a Pac-Man twist more than it is Pac-Man with a Tetris twist, and I only scratched the surface. There's actually a level-based puzzle mode. The original has a 2-player mode, which was omitted here. This is the Genesis version, and it appears to be the European version because it's called Pac-Panic, not Pac-Attack. At any rate, for me, that's the selling point here. It's a game that I've never played before that's actually quite intriguing and interesting to play. So all in all, what this package delivers is a pretty decent version of Pac-Man, Pac-Mania if you're into that, and then the surprising yet welcome variant of Pac-Panic / Pac-Attack, which is not at all just a clone of Pac-Man, but a very different and unique game to have bundled along for the ride. So, taken together, I'm going to award this Pac-Man MyArcade Pocket Player 3 3/4 tokens out of 5. From something I really wasn't sure I was even interested in to something I'm actually glad that I picked up, this little pocket player has really proven itself. But do I need more of them in my collection? Well, that remains to be seen. Hey, I really hope you found something to enjoy in this video, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, you made it to the end. If you liked this video, the best way to say thanks is to watch one more. Here are a couple suggestions that you just might enjoy. And if you love our content, maybe consider becoming a Patreon supporter by following the link on screen.
Unacceptable for grown-ups. Your dinner cannot just be French fries.